my dollars make it hurt.
It's a 2014 Volkswagen Jetta GLI Edition 30 trim, which is basically their 30th anniversary edition of the GLI.
What was different about that one?
The real difference mainly with the regular Edition 30 is you get the nicer looking wheels, you get the fancy badges, and on the door seals it has Edition 30 plaque, and then all the trim covers on the inside are all done up in carbon fiber. Even some stitching on the seats, if you notice it, resembles like a carbon fiber look. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty much still the same everywhere else, just, you know, some more upgraded pieces for looks and stuff like that. I've had it for about 2 years now. Originally, I actually bought this from Carvana. Whenever I was looking, at the time, I had an 05 Cobalt SS, and I blew it up on my way to work. So I was in the process of looking. Luckily, I was on vacation too, so like I had time. I needed to find something like right now. I knew I wanted a Volkswagen. I wanted a GTI is what I wanted to buy originally, a Mark 7. And I found one on there, but it wasn't available for like another 2 weeks. And I'm like, well, I can't do that. So I started scrolling through some more, and then I saw this, and I was like, ooh, okay. Looking over everything that it's saying about, and then I did some more research on it, and I was like, yeah, why not? I'll go with one of those. I love the car. It's fun. It's nice enough to where you can still mod it, but it's also comfy too with it being a sedan. The original paint is black. I got tired after 2 years of having black paint to where every time I'd come out of a car wash, it was literally dirty like 2 seconds down the road. We did end up wrapping it. Cosmic Blue is what it's called. 3M wrap from Metro Restyling. But whenever I first bought it, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it yet. I'm still, even 2 years down the road, a little iffy on what I want to do with it. I've done pretty much everything I can to it, unless I go like big turbo, which is what I kind of want to do.
Do you drive it year round?
As of right now, yeah. I did have another daily, but I ended up getting rid of it for another toy. The first thing I did on it was I got rid of the stock airbox. I went online, a CTS turbo. I got a CTS turbo cold air intake, the 3-inch one, and that was the very first thing I did. And then after that, I shopped probably for like a month and a half for an exhaust. I didn't know what I wanted to choose. They all have so many different sounds and stuff like that. I wanted to find the one that I wanted, and I was watching YouTube videos and everything for probably, like I said, a month and a half, and then I finally went with the AWE tuning track edition exhaust. There's only one resonator on it, and then everything else is basically straight pipe, 2.5 inches, except the downpipe is a 3-inch catless downpipe from CTS Turbo also, which is I bought after the exhaust.
So what else engine-wise have you done?
It is currently stage 2 by Unitronic, and it's just an off-the-shelf tune. So it's just the ECU flash. The only difference now between the GLI and the GTI is the turbo. The turbo on the GTI is an IS-20. On the GLI, it's like an IHI or something like that, but it's a smaller turbo than what's on the GTI. So I can't get the same numbers and same kind of tunes that, you know, someone can get on a GTI. The only real option I had right now is just an off-the-shelf tune. Eventually down the road, I'd like to possibly stack it with JB4. I've seen a lot of people doing that, and I've heard a lot of good things about it. Aftermarket intercooler from Integrated Engineering, probably about like 4 or 5 inches thick. Decent sized intercooler, but it hides behind the condenser, so you can't see it, which is nice, because I'll be like, oh yeah, I have an intercooler, and then people will be like, where? And I'll be like, yeah, that's a thing. You don't see it, but I know it's there. It does have a DKM stage 2 clutch, grabs really nice. Go fast bits, diverter valve plus, they call it. I got the red top coil packs and the newer step coulter spark plugs for the tune.
So it does make a significant difference. Did you notice the coil pack upgrade?
It just seems like it's more smooth driving it, like the idle smooth. It runs smoother with the upgraded coil packs. It's sitting on Raceland coilovers. Nothing too fancy. I mean, I do want to eventually get a better set of coilovers, but at the time, I just wanted my car lower. A little cheaper, but I mean, it was like still $600 or something like that for the coilovers.
How much below stock ride height are you?
About 2 inches lower.
You're not rubbing on everything, are you? A little bit?
A little rub here and there. It's hard carrying passengers around. I will say. I also have wheel spacers on it too to give it that more flush look. Like I have 10 mil spacers on the back and 5 mil on the front. So I feel like if I took them out, yeah, I could probably run it even lower. Like any like speed bump I go over with how my mud flaps are, because I bought the mud flaps before I even lowered the car. And I got the longer ones because I figured, you know, the car was still stock height then. And then I didn't feel like spending another $100 on getting just a shorter version. So I was like, you know what? We'll just rub those around. Why not? I mean, it adds character to it, you know. The wheels were originally brushed aluminum. We did paint the wheels. It's almost like a caramel color. It's not real gold, but it's not super bronze either, so it's like kind of right in the middle. I might want to get new wheels just because they are the stock wheels. Kind of want a lighter wheel on there. The only ones I've ever seen them on for the GLI was the Edition 30. They are a nice wheel though. I do like them a lot. And I did notice right after we got done wrapping the car, the amount of Subaru comments that I had. Like, I mean, like we had the wheels painted before we wrapped the car, so like the car was still black whenever we painted the wheels. I still think it goes pretty well. I mean, you do get them Subaru comments like, oh yeah, you're being a Subaru with your gold bronze wheels and your blue paint job with your Subaru blue paint job, and I'm like, all right. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Sorry.
Sorry, but
right?
yeah, it wasn't intentionally what I was trying to do. The only interior stuff that I've done, I've upgraded the shift knob to a Black Forest Industry weighted shift knob. Got the new South Performance boost gauge in the vent. Changed the interior lights to red LEDs.
Have you ever seen another Edition 30?
Around here, no. As far as I know, I'm the only Edition 30 around this area. There's a couple other GLIs right over in this area that happened to show up after I bought mine, but we won't talk about that.
Is this your first Volkswagen, or have you always been a Volkswagen fan?
No, this is the second Volkswagen that I've had. 3-4 years ago, I had a Mark IV GTI, a 1.8T. Loved it, but it was a pile. It needed a lot of work done to it, but I loved the car. It was straight piped, sounded amazing. Didn't go fast whatsoever, but it was a fun car nonetheless.
It sounded like you went fast.
Oh yeah, it sounded like you went fast. It sounded like a fighter jet getting ready to take off with the turbo spool too, but it needed a lot of work done to it. It's a lot harder to find exactly something that you want for a GLI. And most of the reason why is just because there's not a whole lot of stuff out there for these. I mean, not a whole lot of people make a lot of stuff for them. I mean, ECS and Euro tuning, the whole thing with having that different turbo, basically. My goal is for this right now. Nothing, you know, super spectacular off the charts, but you see a 4-door sedan, like basically a family car like this, that not a whole lot of people build for power, and you're like, oh, okay, what's going on here? You know, what's this guy doing? It's just something different.